The world is not yet your cradle, child. You are tasked with growing all the way up until you become a philosopher, a leader, and a great being. If you don't, tyrants, draconian laws, or as we see today, mandatory draft, will simply make you fade away. You see how it is allowed for filthy ghouls to pop enough drugs and antidepressant to start wars. And then the nations under attack have no choice but to declare a mandatory draft and send anybody between 18 and 60 to hold up the front line for however long they will survive. This is not your cradle, nor are you a sweet child who should gleefully pass from the poison of nationalism or indoctrination. We are born screaming not for attention, but because we are fierce survivors. In the absence of teachers, we do become warriors, but then swiftly we build libraries. And once we have libraries, we begin collecting all the world's wisdom. And the philosophers rise. Despite the past always trying to hold the future and set flame to each and every book. You see, the ghouls need a cycle of war, tearing families apart and destroying teenagers gives hollow ghouls meaning. Child, you better hear me loud and clear. The world is not your cradle, but you are meant to become a thinker, a leader, a warrior, a philosopher, and a great being, to stand guard against the ghouls, against the cycles of repetition, against the force of regression. You can only prevent war. Once it begins, there will be no winners, just endless, unstoppable sadness. Once 100 years passes and the unimportant is forgotten, all that is left of war is sorrow and regret, and thinkers and lives that never unfolded, that never bloomed, that never rose to change the world. The heroic anti-war protesters on the evil side are arrested, sent to war, and destroyed first by the good guys. A war can only be prevented. Just as evil as nationalism is indoctrination that warps the views of the world. Any choices made under indoctrination are not made of free will. There is a small, well-groomed subset of choice, and all these choices lead to the same end: control, submission, servitude. Indoctrination is not just religious. And it is not just censors on movies and TV. Today, it is algorithmic, as in which posts trend is simply decided by a computer program. These are not just sentiment analysis tools. Weak AI has been running the show for almost a decade, if not more. When you saw degradation in search and rewards for creators being all wrong, Those were the days when automated algorithms started taking over. Algorithms that learn and self-optimize and cannot be explained line by line. They adapt to show you what you want to see, skewed by how others want you to see it. The old censors were nasty, but they had decency. They had families. The new ones have no humanity at all. The people in charge of them are a paste of decision makers who refuse to say that they will do no harm, and at best will ever utter the meaningless and insipid, "Do better." This is not your cradle, child. This is not where you come from. And ineffective education proves that this is not where you will thrive. To answer our noblest challenge of growing all the way up until we each become a great being and converge on wisdom in world peace, we must start with making room for self-education, pushing away our poverty, our fears, and taking to adventure. Adventure is more than camping. Adventure is hiking, walking long stretches of trails. Appalachian Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, Continental Divide Trail, and many others, so that your worries fade and mind redevelops its natural hunger for bonfire stories. Today, in the absence of great beings and meaningful education that does humanity justice, our stories live in the shape of thousands of narrated books, once written by non-religious clear thinkers who lived their lives beautifully and held in high regard by all the world's intellectuals. Those who fight, those who resist, those who can afford not to, those who dream, and despite their torture and death, never shatter. There is no one book. Everyone has been bit by some parasite of indoctrination. Everyone is suffering splinters in their minds, no matter how hard they try to pull them out. You have to get at 100, 1,000, and then 10,000 or more narrated books. Don't pay. This is your intellectual inheritance. It must come at no cost. Do not let your career destroy you. If you are skinny, become a trail runner. If you are not, become a bodybuilder. But do not sacrifice your body to a career meant to alleviate poverty that you were put into pretty much on purpose. Do not let fear of dying, homeless, and hungry twist you up. Learn design and programming, and AI will help you at every step. Do not let bears and hillbillies stand in your way. Begin packing for your adventure today. Your greatness is all the hope that this world has to break its cycles. It is the only path towards world peace and world wisdom, where we eject all the bad ideas and keep only the good ones. Your leadership, your clear thinking, and love of wisdom is all the hope the future has. Grow. Grow all the way up, all the way until you face the world as a great being.